Just kidding. But yeah. One away, my friends. One away from the big 2-0. Which is very daunting. Very, very daunting.
What's that in human years?
God, no one knows.
60. In the days when you could actually retire.
Well, it's level 20, not, I don't know, actually 20. Although I like thinking of years, like human years, in levels, because, I don't know.
Are you telling me you reached your peak at age 20? And you've
maybe.
I'd agree with that.
You know what? Yeah, I'd actually agree.
Having known Ben at 20, he's on a massive downward trajectory.
I think I'd. Well, in some ways, I'd agree with that. Certainly, physical capability. Actually, no. Maybe not even physical capability. Physical looks, maybe. Not necessarily physical capability.
I think mine was peaked at about 15, to be fair.
Who did it?
Mine.
I don't know if I call that a peak. I think it was a peak for you, but relatively. What age did you start playing football?
Under 16s, I started playing football.
Well, quite late, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you not play when you were like a kid all the way up till?
Nah.
Really?
Nope.
It's quite surprising, given how
really
much you are into football.
It did show actually, but not in terms of it being shit, but just in terms of like he joined a team that had played together for ages, and it was just quite difficult for him to get in. Not through any ability, really, just like. Well, also the manager's son played right back. That's quite difficult.
That's fair.
But,
hey, we shared that position. Beautifully.
What you with no first touch and Deborah's playing every pass and cross as a fucking knuckleball.
It's not his fault that you're not good enough to control it.
I didn't know where it was going. If the ball doesn't know where it's going, how am I supposed to know where it's going?
You got to read it.
There's nothing to read. It's not twisting in any way. It's just doing this.
It's not about reading it. It's about getting out of the way before it takes your head off.
Exactly.
I don't know why we never put him on free kicks, to be fair.
We used to play a game, Ben, in training where you would have one person. There was 2 boxes, and
because we've been away for a little while. We've not done this in a little while. Nearly did do it for even more of a while. But there we go. At the end of the session, I did just want to go over, sort of on that note, at the end of the session, I wanted to go over, like, just sort of my idea as to essentially the rest of the campaign and get you guys' thoughts and and any sort of expectations or anything like that you might have on it and on that sort of stuff. But
How long are we setting aside for that?
not long, literally like 5-10 minutes. I just wanted to, like 10 minutes max. I just wanted to briefly sort of go through with you guys what I was thinking, and then if you guys had any contradicting things or ideas or anything like that, because obviously it's a big ending and I want to make sure we do it right after like near 4 years of doing this. I want to end with as much of a bang as it started with. But that's all for the end of the session. Let's get on with what we were up to. And if anyone can remember what we were up to, good job, because I didn't earlier on and I had to read the recap. Speaking of, last session, we began with your completing the trial of power within the sort of vault of the root of Yggdrasil, and after fighting against the elementals, thanks to some magical hijinks, you managed to finally stop them from moving the statues off their respective podiums and place them all in the right place simultaneously. With that done, the path opened for you all to continue through to the vault. You entered then into a large room where the root of Yggdrasil had formed. The root took the form of a glowing white ash tree with the branches that faded to non-existence as they reached out to the corners of the cavernous space. Garmira, the guardian of the root, and a sphinx welcomed you, gave you the root and allowed you on your way, but not before warning you to not misuse the root and warning you that she'd foreseen your coming battle with Tiamat and that in the many timelines she'd looked through, sometimes you were successful and sometimes you were not. But in every one, there was always a price to be paid for victory. Upon leaving, you pondered as to whether or not to use the portal stone given to you by Vizier Lithicus to get back to Abacatcha, but you decided not to, as you didn't quite trust him, and you thought it might be a trap, considering all you know about him and the situation. Instead, Glyndan teleported you back to the tavern, where you stayed the night before. Upon your return, it seemed there was some commotion in Oramis's room, where the goblin he'd captured, named Gobafet, had all one word, had absolutely wrecked the room and all its furnishings. However, a stern word from Oramis, and he was put to work cleaning the mess he'd made. From here, you decided on next steps and realized the Vizier Lithicus's plan to continue to use the young sultan for his own personal gain had to be stopped. All of a sudden, you all gained some morals, which I was quite surprised by, but delighted by nonetheless. Ideas were discussed, and in the end, you decided on a plan of action. That plan, as far as I'm aware, is this. You would go into the palace in the evening, as you were previously told. A dinner was to be held with the Sultan to tell tales of your various great deeds. Whilst there, Mittens would lure the Sultan away privately to discuss his board game Caves and Krakens. Caves and Krakens. He would then try and persuade the Sultan to prank the Vizier and the dinner guests by returning to the Sultan invisible and surprising Lithicus, potentially scaring him. Whilst this was all happening, however, the rest of the Guardians would speak to Lithicus of his plans with the Sultan and his plot to keep him young. The hope here is that Lithicus would discuss these plans with you all, whilst an invisible Sultan entered the room, thus, essentially accidentally confessing what he was doing to with the Sultan in his presence, sort of thing. As far as I'm aware, that's the plan that you came up with. We pick up the session with the Sultan successfully lured to the other room and going on to Mittens about the various rules and things about Caves and Krakens and his current Caves and Krakens campaign, or as he calls it, C&K campaign, whilst Glyndan and Oramis inquired with Lithicus and Kaiman devoured his appetizer. So, the two of you are speaking with Lithicus, and you were sort of briefly tiptoeing around the sort of subject. Oramis, can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Yeah.
Lithicus sort of glances you an eye. 12.
Success.
Okay. Cool. Lithicus looks at you with some discernment as he sort of narrows his eyes just that little bit. What would you like to do? I would say, at the same time, Oramis. Wait, let me just look up the thing. I think you do know this is happening to you. Yeah, so Oramis, you suddenly feel something or someone probing inside your mind, almost like your thoughts are being watched, and that someone is, well, yeah, looking at your thoughts. And I would say, whilst this is happening, Lithicus he's been eating his appetizer, which is like a very, very small bowl of soup, and he sort of put down his spoon and pulls out a necklace from his neck with a sort of bronze coin upon it, and he's been twiddling that between his fingers. And Oramis, suddenly you feel inside your mind, it's weird, like you're suddenly aware that someone is watching your thoughts, which is very, very strange. I'll leave it to you guys. What would you like to do in this moment?
It's just us in the room, isn't it?
So yeah, Kaiman, you two, and Lithicus, 2 guards are stationed outside. And yeah, Lithicus is sort of just twiddling this thing between his fingers, going, yes, rather wonderful appetizer. I hope you're all enjoying your food.
What's with the coin, you rat bag?
I'd say, Glyndan, make me an Arcana check, but make it with disadvantage. As this might not necessarily be on your mind at the present minute. Yeah, 18. You look at Lithicus, and you remember that he is a spellcaster. He has cast spells for you in the past. And with an 18, it just passively in the back of your mind sort of renders, wait, the bronze coin, that's what's used for detect thoughts. Spell detect thoughts, that's the material component of bronze coin. But you haven't seen him, you also know that detect thoughts requires both verbal and somatic components. But he hasn't done either of those.
Could be a warcaster. I don't think that's what you'll need to do verbal.
Can I retaliate by using vicious mockery on him?
What do you say in your vicious mockery?
So has he failed in reading my thoughts by knowing he's tried?
No. You know he is currently reading your thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I would say, good luck reading my thoughts. Not a lot much goes on here. You weasel. Very, very vicious attack on him.
Right. So he needs to roll as a wisdom saving throw, right?
Yeah.
Cool. That is. Oh, that's not great. That's 7. Not great at all. You feel him wince in his head, and he sort of, yeah, there's this like wincing sensation sort of comes over his face as this like psychic damage sort of
damage.
steps in. That should be a lot more damage. That should be 4d4. Yeah, 4. That should be 4d4.
I'll roll.
So yeah, just roll another 2d4 and change it. Anyway, but 6. That's 9. So yeah, you look at him, and there is a slight wince, but it's not quite as, you don't feel your spell connect with him as much as you might expect from something like this. He actually needs to make a con save. Okay. Yeah, you don't necessarily feel that it's rung home, this insult and the sort of damage is rung home as much as he slightly winces and then sort of looks at you like, now, gentlemen, let's not say or do anything we might regret in this situation. Let's keep things civil. I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want negotiations turning ugly now, would I? You being representatives of your stature and your nation, if anything. We have not had many delegates from Ambyr here. You being on the council as well, the Ambyr's government, it would certainly be a shame if things were to grow rather hostile. God, can you check on the Sultan? I believe the next course will be coming soon, and his appetizer grows cold. One of the guards from sort of outside, you just hear this like heavy plate armor, ringmail armor, just begin to walk off in one direction. Cutting back over to Mittens for a second. So the Sultan's been going over this stuff with you. There's a knock on the door. The Sultan sort of goes, come in. The guard steps in and goes, Sir, Lithicus is requesting you back at the table. He goes, oh, come on, 5 more minutes. We'll just get to the... All right, yeah, basically in the end, they're going to fight the Kraken. Oh, all right. We better get back. Lithicus he gets a bit angry when he's hungry. There's a tendency to be angry. It's not very nice.
Why don't we try and lighten the mood a little? We'll play a little joke on Lithicus. What I'll do is I'll turn you invisible for a bit, and then
You can do...
Yeah. And then you can sort of listen in to what he has to say, and then you can surprise him tomorrow with all the stuff you know.
I have a better idea. I'm going to wait until he's about to eat something, then I'm going to scare him. Big like, whew! And then I think that'll be more fun. I think that'll be, that'll be more fun. Do it. And he holds out his hands like, how does this work? Do it.
Okay, I will cast invisibility, greater invisibility on him because I don't have regular.
The guard looks at you like, I'm trusting you to not do anything stupid here.
Well, I'll wait until we're right outside the room, and then.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you turn him invisible. The door opens. You're allowed in. Lithicus looks over at you and goes,
I'm also just going to before I enter, see invisibility as well, just so I can see where he's at to.
Okay. So Lithicus looks at you and goes, where is the Sultan, I wonder? I called him into the room, and yet only you've appeared.
The Sultan had an idea about his game, and he wanted to make some notes before he forgot. As someone who has dabbled in the creation of musical pieces, I can certainly understand the need to write these things down when the inspiration strikes.
Make me a bit deception check, but I'm going to say make it with disadvantage because you read Oramis's mind.
Okay. Disadvantage. A 19.
Okay. Lithicus kind of looks towards you and goes, all right. Well, hopefully he will be quick. I will have the next course brought out anyway. Soup is not his favorite. Next course, please. And a variety of sort of waiters come in to take your plates, whilst several others from the same door, it's a double door, so from one side people come in, take your plates and leave. From the other side, people come in and replace your plates with another sort of smaller dish. Looks like a sort of assortment of breads and cheeses and things like that. Actually, no, this would be like sort of small, almost like small steaklets. Small little portions of like little steak, and several sauces and stuff. Lithicus begins to dig in. The Sultan, you can see, begins to sort of slowly step towards Lithicus. He's going to roll a stealth check with advantage. That is a natural 20 from the Sultan. So he is surprisingly a stealthy motherfucker as he's just sort of creeping up behind him. What are the rest of you doing? So there's been this small altercation whilst everyone was away. What are the rest of you doing in this moment?
So I want to try and quickly get him onto the conversation of incriminating himself. So I will say to the Sultan, not the Sultan, sorry, to Lithicus, that water you had us collect that you use for that potion you give to the Sultan, the one that keeps him young, does that just work, or do you have to do something to it? Obviously, I want to remain this handsome visage for as long as possible to keep my performances going.
He's gonna. 1 second. How long does it spell? 1 minute. It's been more than a minute. Yeah, you can see before he answers the question, he sort of pulls at his necklace again and twiddles the coin in his hand. He begins to sort of look at the face upon the coin and spin it within his hands. And then he looks towards you, Mittens. And again, without saying a word or doing anything, can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
7.
So he can now read your mind. And he sort of looks at you and goes, I think you got that wrong. You mean the potion that keeps his young complexion, of course. Yes. Sorry, what was the question? It only needs to be applied. You only need to drink it once per year or something, did you say?
Yes, but the potion you make, does it need you have to do something to it, or does the water itself just work?
Oh no, the water itself can just work. Too much at once can prove rather fatal. Too little can, well, simply not work. So a certain quantitative amount is needed in such situations.
So really, you're not really necessary at all. You don't really need to do anything. The Sultan could just get it himself and just drink it.
Well,
you're saying you don't need to do anything to it. Sounds like you're kind of
he
useless.
needs to take a very specific amount, you see. He seems to, the word useless, he almost seems to like slightly wince and sort of like ruffle his sort of brow a little bit. But he does say, I would rather me handle the alchemical components of these sorts of things. It can be quite a dangerous water. As I say, too much and it can prove fatal. Too little and it can be rather off-putting, and it can have certain effects similar to addictive substances, where once one drinks a small amount, they're inclined to drink more.
And you've never been tempted by this yourself? I mean, is he an elf or a half elf? I forget.
He's a high elf. So whereas the Sultan is a human, he's an elf.
Longevity, but looking at you is, well, I'm sorry, quite hideous. I'd have thought you would indulge in this yourself, if if it really is for a youthful complexion.
I care not what others think of my looks.
You really should.
Well, as I said to your friends whilst you were away, sir, whatever your name was,
Mittens.
it is
Well, Mittens to my friends.
Right.
Maximilian to you.
Let us not say anything we might regret. You are, of course, we've not really had many people from Ambyr come this far into Titan to speak with us. And you are, of course, representatives of your nation. So let us not turn things sour.
I'm from this neck of the woods. I don't really speak for them.
Well, wherever you are from, let us not sour our relationships with them, shall we? This is a nice meal we are having, and I would not wish to sour it with such petty insults.
I mean,
insulting one's looks.
I don't know what you call a nice meal, but poking around in your dinner guest's head isn't very nice.
Who says I'm doing any poking?
I do.
And
I can
drops.
feel you in
He drops the coin and picks up his fork. Well, it has been. Abercatcher has been a threat by many different things. The war in the south, for one. I just wanted to make sure that I'm at dinner with the right people. Besides, you never told me what you were going down into the crypts for. I wonder. I fear for the.
So all of a sudden, you were very free to let us wander around before, after we did you that service and got that water for that potion that keeps the prince young, you said?
Keeps the prince of young complexion, of course. You should watch that tongue of yours. It will get you into much trouble, sir.
Oh, trust me, my tongue's been many places that it's got it into trouble.
Of course.
Do you not think, though, that you should let him grow, look a little bit older, a bit more his years?
Well, doing such a thing to a 16-year-old, how the sun would affect him, it would not be sightly. And for a sultan, for a vizier, appearance does not matter. But for a sultan, one blessed so much by God, it would... boo! And then all of a sudden, the vizier shakes as suddenly the sultan reappears behind him, while he's got sort of like a fork of food, near his mouth, Yes, rather funny, rather funny, young sultan. If you would like to sit down and eat. Sultan sort of says that. Well, that wasn't as fun as I thought it would be. God damn it. Shuffles back over to where he's sitting. Why are you all inquiring so much about this this stuff? And why has this never come up before, Lithicus? I didn't know you were giving me this stuff. Oh, yes. I didn't think you needed to know about it, of course. Well, I feel I probably should have been informed about, a thing keeping my skin young. What if you forgot to give it to me? What if anything were to happen to you and then I never took it, and then 100 more years go by, my skin looks all raggedy and old? Yes, that would be rather problematic.
I think just coming in with a fresh perspective, Sultan, it's easy to see that this position that stays this position massively suits Lithicus.
There is a brief pause as the Sultan just sort of sits there a little concerned, because in the past couple of days he's heard about this thing. You guys have come in, clearly done some kind of secretive job for Lithicus, and he's now all of a sudden hearing about this thing, which over the past 100 years he's never heard about, but apparently he's been taking every year. That is clearly a little bit suspicious. So, could I please get this is going to be a sort of group persuasion check, of which I have no doubt you might do somewhat well at. But I'm going to say that it is going to be with disadvantage. And that is because, obviously, he very much trusts Lithicus. He has trusted Lithicus over 100 years of his reign. He definitely, he definitely doesn't necessarily want to believe that Lithicus is doing anything bad towards him. So yeah, this is going to be with disadvantage.
Can I say something that might potentially not make a disadvantage or attempt?
Okay, yeah.
What I was going to say is, if you're having trouble trusting him, young Sultan, maybe ask him where the portal stone he gave us was going to take us.
Okay. Oh, did you take a level in Warlock, Luke? So you're now
No, I took a level in rogue, so I get reliable.
Sorry, rogue. Yes, rogue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
reliable talent.
Yeah.
Oh, get less than a fucking 27 on persuasion. Yeah. So, okay, Sam, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, roll me a persuasion check, but instead yours doesn't have disadvantage then. I'll say
So
that cancels
my
out the
group
disadvantage.
one doesn't have.
So your one specifically doesn't have disadvantage because
Oh.
you said that.
I was going to use a divination roll anyway.
Okay. But that definitely does slightly change things because the Sultan then sits there. So you've all rolled, we've got the two very incredible. Well, we've got a 27 for to start. Mittens, persuasion check, disadvantage 12, not great. A 1, not great.
I'll roll 19. I don't have any modifier to my persuasion.
You roll a 19. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's a 27, a 19. So that's 2 passes, a very middling roll, and then a fail. So the Sultan's definitely a bit concerned now. He's definitely, like, with all you guys have said. And then you mentioned this portal stone. And he goes, portal stone? What portal stone? Oh, the ones like you give people when they go far and wide and they go back. Yeah, it just leads back to the castle. Right? That's you got a couple of them, right? They just lead back to the castle. Yes, of course. It simply leads back to the castle. These individuals did not trust me enough to use it, but it shows how distrustly.
Return to the castle who's used one of these. Have you ever seen them again?
Well, he gives them to various delegation and love you too, Dad. Um, so the Sultan sort of sits there for a second and goes, "Yeah, I've seen a couple. I mean, they're given to people to, who leave and they go on like missions for some stuff like those mercenaries. Those mercenaries, they came by and they.
Well, you know what would be fun then?
And they
have you ever teleported
and they
before?
came back.
Sultan,
Me, no. I've rarely
like?
left. I've rarely left the desert, if I'm honest.
We could use the stone, and it would just teleport us somewhere in the castle, and you could experience what it feels like in a safe environment, Lithicus. Safe.
Lithicus furrows his brow and he goes, "I think we should continue our dinner before it gets cold. The chefs have been working all day on such a feast. Don't you think, young Sultan?"
Oh,
And
forget that. Teleportation takes no
yeah,
time. We'll be back in a moment.
there's a pause.
You understand the flow of magic, don't you, Lithicus? This thing is instantaneous. You get that, right? You're not as stupid as you look, right?
Lithicus sits there. He's been cutting up a small like cutlet of steak, but he puts his knife and fork down and just sort of sits there and goes, "Well, yes, I suppose there's no, I suppose there is no harm after all, is there? No, I suppose there is no harm. All right. Could I see the portal stone that you had? I will travel with the young Sultan, and we will. Yes, Sultan, we will experience teleportation together. Why don't we?"
Well, we can all go, make it a group trip.
Why not? A group trip sounds wonderful. Yes.
I'll do an insight check and see if he's nervous.
Yeah. Roll me an insight check.
Yeah, I will move to sort of a position sort of by the Sultan, and maybe like if he stands up, sort of like put an arm around him as if I'm going to chaperone him.
Yeah. Glyndan, you get the thing that he was nervous, but there's almost like this moment where it's very, very subtle. His eyebrow just slightly raises, and you kind of think that's the look of a man who's just had an idea. The
Communicate that.
The vizier stands up and goes, "Yes, why don't you open up the portal, and yes, we'll see how this can work out. Yes, some light entertainment before dinner. I'm not overly hungry anyways. Are you hungry, young Sultan?" No, I can wait. They said it's only quick, right? It's like instantaneous. So, I mean, if I'm honest, I'm not really a big fan of. We have this like every week. I'm not a big fan. What's the next course? Oh, sort of ragu. Yeah, that sounds a bit better. Why don't you have them prepare that, and then by the time we're back, we'll have that next course. Yeah, there's like 5 courses to be had here, right? We can do that. Yes, of course, young Sultan. Why don't you get out the portal stone? Let us
Rightly,
let us
then,
venture.
the way this works is the one holding it needs to be the last one through it, right?
Yes. So as soon as the stone goes through the portal shuts.
Okay. So if Glyndan makes it as the one holding it, I presume.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll make it.
Yeah.
Okay. You summon this portal. It's a purple swirling. It's sort of like the size and height of the portals from the video game Portal, but you can't see what's through it because there's like a swirling purple. Like how in Rick and Morty, there's like that swirling stuff. It's basically that, but like purple.
When I try and get Oramis's eye.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Just to and then catch his eye and then just look at Lithicus.
While this is going on, I will attempt to persuade Lithicus. Well, Lithicus, after you go first, and the rest of us will follow along behind. You can greet the Sultan on the other side. Make sure he's in tip-top shape when he comes out. After all, you created this stone, didn't you? So I can't imagine anything would go wrong with it. Attempt to be this one to get him to go through first, but also be somewhat of a distraction in this instance.
Yes. That happens. Before that happens, so Sam, what are you trying to convey to Oramis?
Well, Ben, if you don't know, that means my code works.
Okay. I'm going to.
I'm actually trying to. Thing is, I've hoodwinked you, Ben. Luke knows exactly what I mean.
I'm gonna. I was gonna say I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. No,
we're good. Honestly, that could not have gone more perfectly.
To try and convey to Luke not what you're trying to say, but if that's it, fine. So the portal's summoned.
Let's not sit here and pretend that Luke isn't going to do Oramis isn't going to do what he wants to do anyway.
Cool. So the portal's open. Lithicus then, after hearing what you've said, Lithicus then looks at you all and is going to say, "Oh no, I am." Wait.
Remind me, where does this portal actually go?
We don't know. We just don't trust it.
You have no idea.
Is he standing anywhere near the portal?
No. So the portal was opened up by Glyndan. So if you imagine, it's a big round table, sort of 10 feet by 10 feet. One of them like really, really big, like overly long tables. So he's sat sort of on one side. Glyndan, I imagine, is sat sort of like over here. So if he's sat like down here, the Sultan was sat over here, but has since now moved over to Mittens, sort of like up here. Glyndan's over here, and Glyndan's opened the portal sort of near the other side of the room. Okay, so as the portal opens, Lithicus instead goes, "Actually, I suggest all of you go through first. And could everyone please make me a wisdom saving throw?"
It's a spell.
Let me just check if you would know whether it is or not. Oh, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. What's the...
Bear in mind,
you...
I insight checked it and thought he was thinking something.
I would say you would know it's a spell, but by the time you realize he's casting a spell, it might have gone. It might have gone off. Basically, what I'm saying is that he uses subtle spell to cast mass suggestion upon the party.
Okay.
Because as you now realize, he's somewhat a sorcerer. So, 21.
You're not letting me.
I would
with
say
the
with subtle spell, if any of you guys were to use subtle spell, I would say the enemy doesn't know that it's going on, so they can't counterspell it. So I'd say that it goes both ways. But that's a pass from Glyndan, pass from Oramis, fail from Kaiman, and a fail from Mittens.
I'm going to roll.
Oh, apologies. Oh yeah, that was your insight. Sorry. And I'm going to roll for the Sultan. The Sultan fails too. Yours the big one, Sam, because if you fail, you walk through. Right, so you've passed. So all of a sudden, Mittens, Kaiman, and the Sultan begin to walk towards the portal. Just like their eyes almost like briefly shine for a second, so you can tell something magic-y has gone on, and then they immediately start walking towards the portal. I'm going to say, who is the highest? So you were next to the Sultan, so I'm going to say that Mittens. So Glyndan, you don't step through. So the portal remains open this entire time. Mittens, you step through the portal.
Yes.
And
can I prepare an action as I go through?
I would say yes. Yes, you can.
Okay, I want to prepare polymorph in case there's something dangerous or precarious on the other side.
Okay.
And I go through with the Sultan.
Okay. You step through, and you are immediately freezing fucking cold. Freezing cold. It is like the most 180 twist you've ever felt in your entire life. And as you walk through, you almost trip for a second on, at first, what you think is just like a rock, but you look down and it's a skeleton. It's a bone. You are surrounded by snow and a sort of blizzard. You have absolutely no idea where you are. Your body is in a bit of shock from the sort of warm evening night, the sort of desert Arabian night of Abakacha, to the suddenly blistering cold. But there is a brief break in the blistering sandstorm and snowstorm, and you can see out before you just mountains, a mountain range. There is no desert anywhere. It is just imagine you've been teleported to on top of the mountain in the middle of the fucking Alps. You have no fucking clue where you are. What's worse is as you appear, you hear a noise. You almost mistake it for the howl of the wind before you begin to hear that something moves to your right. That's what you see. Kaiman, you go in right after, as does the Sultan. Sultan is suddenly freezing behind you.
Yeah.
The only problem is
that
that
through sort of like with the Sultan chaperone.
Yeah. So the thing is, his thing only said walk through. So you've essentially expended all of your movement, if this was combat, to walk through the portal. Kaiman, Mittens, and the Sultan. Oramis and Glyndan, you are left on this side of the portal. And Lithicus is seemingly quite pleased with himself, and he begins putting his hands in an almost like this sort of pose, and you can see sort of arcane runes on the back of his hands begin to light up as he prepares to cast another spell. And I believe this would probably be a pretty good time to roll some initiative against Lithicus as we see what goes on here.
Oh, decent initiative roll. The entire campaign.
Yeah, you've not been blessed. Despite my efforts,
he picked up my fucking head.
Blessed.
He got my message.
Where the fuck is... Right. Great for him. Oh, that's not great for him. Right, so that is definitely going to be Oramis up first. So it's going to go Oramis, Glyndan, him, Mittens, Kaiman. Oh, and I'll roll for the Sultan as well. Sultan,
What are the guards doing?
or the lowest. The guards are on the outside of the room. They're not in the room currently. So they actually don't really know anything's gone on yet. So, Oramis, you are up first. You've seen this portal open. A few of your friends have walked through. What do you do?
Well, how close is he to me?
He is, I'm going to say, around 30 feet away from you.
So I can get to him.
You can get to him easily, yeah.
I'm going to sprint over to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast Darkness.
Okay.
And I'm going to bonus action Conceal Blade.
Bonus action, Concealed Blade. All right. Roll for that Concealed Blade. You have advantage because you can see in the darkness. Wait, no, you can't. You don't have your truce. I have truce up.
How long ago did I cast it?
Today, technically.
Oh.
And it only lasts like an hour. Did you cast it today? No, you can't. You can use it again. It takes an action to use, but you can use it again because you got a long rest at the end of the dungeon. You got a long rest, so you can activate it as an action if you'd like to.
Okay. Well, I'll activate it this turn.
Okay.
And then I'll still bonus action my Conceal Blade.
Okay. Awesome. Roll to hit with Conceal Blade. 15. That will hit, but he's going to use his reaction to cast Shield, which ups his AC, so that no longer hits.
What an absolute bitch move.
I know, right? Fucking sorcerers. Piece of shit. Anything else in your turn, Oramis?
Can I grapple as a free action? Oh, no, that's not.
No, that's an action. Or like one of your attacks, that would be.
Yeah, no, okay, fine.
Did you cast Darkness in the end?
No, I'll have to cast it next turn.
Alright, okay.
Because I used an action to use True Sight, so I can see in the darkness.
Indeed. Cool. Next up is... I should really write the initiative down because I'm so used to that. Next up would be Mittens. Mittens, you hear, and you have very good perception. So you suddenly, wait, no, sorry. It is, yeah, no, it is Mittens. You got a...
Yeah, sure.
I got a 9.
Sorry, I've been looking at your, I was looking at your wisdom save as your initiative. Yes, it is Glyndan. I'm actually going to just take the time for a second just to write out the initiative order. So it goes Oramis, Glyndan, then who is it? Then it's then it's Slith. Sultan. Right. There's the initiative order. All nice and big. I'll put that on the layer that you guys can see too.
How far am I from Lithicus?
So you are 30 feet from Lithicus and 5 feet from the portal.
And what am I doing to keep this portal open?
You are literally just holding this stone.
Is that like
as an action, you can close. I'm going to need to look at my notes a second, but the only way to close the portal is either by putting the stone through the portal or using an action when within 5 feet of the portal to close it.
Say the first one again, sorry. So close it within 5 feet, and the first one was...
Or the stone goes through the portal.
Oh.
The stone goes through the portal, it closes automatically. If you use an action when within 5 feet of it, you can close it that way as well.
Oh, I never really did like Mittens, Kaiman, or the Sultan. Bring me the hand. The hand. Do I want the hand?
Do you want the foot?
Oh. Fuck it, I'll cast Disintegrate.
All right, you cast Disintegrate. He needs to roll a deck save.
I believe it's dex.
Does he have anything that can help with it? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. No. it's the plain
Fuck
answer.
it. I'll give him a roll.
Oh
as
no,
well.
he does. No, he does have counterspell. He does have counterspell.
He's already used his reaction.
Yes, he has. He doesn't have counterspell. So he's got to roll. He's got to roll his deck save.
I'll use a
So-
divination roll. He's got an 8.
Oh, that's so annoying because he rolled a natural 20. So you watch as he sort of looks at you, point your staff towards him, and it's almost like he knew you were going to do that. He knows, he seems to know wizards, and he knew you guys would shoot first, sort of thing. So he's almost in movement. So you just slightly turn your staff and point towards him, and instead of him dodging completely the other way, he just like goes straight into the new line of the hit. Roll up that dank disintegrate damage.
I'd love to roll this in person one day. Right. Here we go.
Maybe you can disintegrate Tiamat.
74.
74 damage. Right. You hit Lithicus square in the chest. He's knocked into the corner of the table, and he's sort of like leaning over the corner of the table as this big grey sort of like stony dent with all these black veins is now left in the center of his chest. Part of his robe has been disintegrated away. He's not dead, but he looks not in a very, very good way. I'll tell you now, he's bloodied. Definitely bloodied. Very, very nicely done.
And then as he's on the floor, I think I'll just say stand down. You miserable little oaf.
Roll me, I'm going to say, an intimidation check, but you could use your intelligence for it. So do you have proficiency in intimidation?
No, so just be an
So just be an
additional
intelligence check, yeah.
15.
15. All right, I'll roll him. Okay. Okay, he looks at you and he sort of like rasps for breath for a second. No, you're not going to ruin what I have planned. The city. Told you with everything. I've gotten away with it too. Once you meddling kids. Cool. It is now Lithicus' turn, where unfortunately he rolled an 18 plus stuff for the roll I gave him against your intimidation. It was just a straight wisdom roll to see if he would sort of try for things or move on. And he is now going to call out and say, Guards! Guards, the Guardians are stealing away the Sultan. I told you they were no good. Get in here now! And suddenly 2 guards bust through the door, these heavily armored knight dudes. Yeah, bust through the door. And are going to be added to the initiative as they just begin looking around. You! What is the Sultan? Through the portal. After them. Kill them. Yes, sir. You go after the Sultan. I will help him deal with these 2. And one of them on their turn, one of them is going to begin to rush in, and I'll just put them at the end of initiative just for simplicity's sake. No, I'm on the wrong layer to be editing things. So that's just going to be his like talking, his like, I'll say that's his like 3 action. He's going to look at the 2 of you, and he's going to quicken spell. Cone of Cold.
Counterspell.
Counterspell. It's now his turn. What level are you counterspelling at?
4th.
4th. Can you roll me a check? The DC, an intelligence check. The DC is 15.
One laugh. Hey.
So done. He does get his reaction back, so he's going to try and counterspell your counterspell. Unfortunately, he's used his highest level thing, so he's gonna. He's just gonna use a third. Fails. So yeah, you. How does your counterspell take effect? So he's like summoning this cold in his hand. How do you envisage that just dissipating?
Just like a whole bunch of wind that just dissipates the cold in his hand.
Nice, I like it. A whole bunch of wind blows by. His turban and all of his robes get blown back, and he almost gets blown back into the table as he wastes that. But then as his action, he's just gonna do fucking firebolt at you, Glyndan, because he's pissed off and you keep ruining his shit. So that's gonna be a 12 plus 9. That's a 21 to hit.
Yes, boss.
That's gonna hit. That's gonna hit. I need my D10s because that's gonna hit. And that one. Let's just roll that. That's a 5 plus 8 plus 6 is a 13, 19 points of fire damage to you. That's pretty much going to be his turn as he just moves himself around the table to get a little bit of cover. So he'll have like half cover plus 2 to his AC because he knows he's not very beefy. Then we're going to go to Mittens. Now, Mittens, you've heard this big and you hear another one from your left. And all of a sudden you see these two huge lizards with sort of smooth bluish sort of like light blue skin crawling down the rock face either side of you. You realize you're in a sort of valley between two peaks. And obviously, as I said, ahead of you, you can see this like expanse of stuff, which just, ahead of you, maybe like 100 feet ends in a cliff. You can see this expanse of mountain range. As you look up left and right, as I say, you can see these two like huge lizards. They're not dragons. Almost imagine like Komodo dragons, but with very like stubby faces, and like smooth skin, bluish sort of skin, and they look to be very acclimatized to the cold. And they're like climbing down the rock face. The portal is right behind you. The Sultan's freezing his ass off. Kaiman's here. What do? And the suggestion was, I suggest you walk through the portal. So you're through the portal. You can act as you please.
I'm still got my held. So seeing these things, does my held action go off?
I would say, yeah, fuck it, why not?
Okay, I'm going to attempt to cast polymorph on one of them and just turn it into something small, like a little winter rabbit.
Cool. Okay.
A wisdom save, DC 19.
Oh, that's a 17.
Don't be wise.
Plus 0. That's a 17.
So one of them suddenly becomes a rabbit.
Yeah, so this thing, like climbing down the rock face, suddenly becomes a rabbit, falls. And, rabbits are pretty decent. And it lands in snow. So this rabbit just goes in the snow, its little legs like kicking about as its head is now like dunked in the snow. Awesome. That's your action. Any bonus actions? Any movement?
Oh, that's my held action.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was your held action. So now you've got your turn. What do you do?
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Are these like how close are these things?
They're like 60 feet away.
60. Okay, so they're a fair distance away.
Yeah. But from the way they begin moving down the cliff, you can definitely say that they have some speed on them as they are like down the cliff.
Yes. So that will break that. That was. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because that's got my concentration going. So
You're up next, Kaiman. So have a think about what you want to do.
I can't hold another action because that's concentration. I will just throw out a vicious mockery towards this thing. So
Alrighty.
So can the one that's still up make
Fails.
a wisdom saving throw? So it
Fails.
takes 8 damage.
8 damage. Alrighty. It takes 8 damage.
And
Cool.
has disadvantage on the next attack roll.
Coolio.
And I'll just stand in
Uh,
front of the Sultan.
Stand in front of the soul. Sweet. Cool. Next up, then it is Kaiman. Kaiman, what would you like to do?
We'll do Spirit Guardians
Spirit
then-
Guardians. Alrighty.
and then run at them.
Alrighty. So one of them is 60 feet, but it's like halfway up a cliff face. The other one has been turned into a little bunny.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
However, from previous experience, and the fact that you don't know the spell, but from previous experience, you've seen that if you kill the little bunny, it's going to turn back into the big frosty thing. What I can tell you is a frost
will-
salamander.
Wait. So it gets hurt. It turns back.
Yeah.
So what if I was to just hold it?
Yeah, you can definitely just run up to it and hold it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold it just to make sure nothing.
Cool. Yeah,
Take-
so there's
take-
little bunnies, like bum sticking out of the bum and legs sticking out of the snow. You just run up, pick it up. It's squirming around. It's quite difficult to hold, but you're Kaiman. You got big, beefy hands. You can easily just pick it up, and it fits like in the palm of your like big metallic hand. Nice. I like it.
Make sure I don't-
Yeah, just don't drop it. Cool. Then the Sultan is going to go, and the Sultan is like, "What the? Is this snow? What the? Where the? What? Is that bones?" Ah! And the Sultan, in just absolute panic and fear, is going to run back into the room. And when he gets back into the room, obviously there's all sorts of craziness going on. There's he doesn't see necessarily all the craziness, but like there's guards rushing in. Lithicus is there. Lithicus is like, "I told you to get in the portal, boy." He's like, "What? What the? What? Can everyone just calm down? Guards, get. What's going on?" And Sultan's just freaking the fuck out because clearly he's not used to any kind of combat. Guards turns. Guards are going to run up, and I'm just going to say one's going to go for the portal, so he just runs right through the portal. Other one is going to go for Glyndan's been thrown. No, Oramis is right up on Lithicus trying to attack him, so the other one's going to go for Oramis. So Oramis, 2 attacks against you. One is a definite miss. If it's a definite miss, that's a 7 and a 6 from the guard. So as it just runs up to you, you're able to deftly just like avoid their attacks, easy enough. Given that's the end of the round, do people want to do a really quick break, or are people happy to go on? Or yeah, really quick break.
Yes.
Cool. Right, we'll get back to this momentarily after just a really quick we are at the top of the initiative. Oramis, you are right up next to you're right up next to the Vizier Lithicus, but now a guard, sort of a knight in ringmail armor, wielding a shield and a sort of Kopesh style short sword, one of them short swords that goes like, I guess it's a scimitar, but it goes the other way, rather than curving back, it curves forward to get around shields and stuff. Is right in front of you, trying to attack you because Lithicus has told him that you're bad. The Sultan's come through the door, screaming everyone to calm down. What the hell's going on? He's just freaking out. He's a 16-year-old kid caught up in a magic fight, so he's freaking the fuck out.
Nathan,
what are you doing?
I'm casting darkness, boy.
I believe
Casting
everything
darkness.
God love. Just live with everything.
There's a chance we can make it now. It goes down. I believe anything.
Thank you for wasting 10 seconds of my life.
You are fucking welcome.
You've wasted plenty more of ours, so.
Right, so you've cast darkness as your action.
Yeah.
Cool.
How's
You
that for-
can now see, but all of a sudden the guard goes, "Wait, what's going on?" Lithicus goes, "It's magic. You wouldn't understand." But also goes, "But yes, you are right. This is a problem."
I've just remembered my managerial responsibility.
I've just remembered. Yes, this is a spell. I can't see either. Shit.
Yeah, conceal blade.
I may have made a mistake somewhere down the line here. Concealed blade. You have a. Thank God for the advantage. A 20 does hit. With 9 damage. You do get sneak attack on this.
Yeah, right, I do, boy.
Yeah. How do you take Vizier Lithicus down?
I think I just go up behind him and shove the blade through the back of his neck.
Oh God! Straight up murdering him. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Up behind him, blade, like almost like a sort of spinning move behind him, blade through the back of the neck, almost like you're like punching the back of his neck with your like palming the back of the neck. Blade goes through, and there's just this brief like coughing, spluttering, blood dripping, and then just a toppling sound from those outside the darkness. The guards looking around. You can see the guard looking around like, sort of almost trying to hide behind his shield, like, I'm not afraid. But that is action, bonus action. Any movement at all, or?
No.
Cool. Glyndan, your turn. An area in front of you and in front of the portal got dark. What do you do? Actually, no, it's not in front of the portal. So the area in front of you got dark. You're not in the darkness. Portal's right next to you. The Sultan ran out. Guards ran in. One of them is running for the portal. What are you doing?
Did you kill Lithicus just now?
Yeah. You don't know he's dead.
What I'm
he is
not
dead.
hearing is.
Actually, yeah, you stabbed him in the throat. You would have heard.
Got a health potion.
Shut that at him.
Shove it through the hole.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
It's like an IV.
I might wish him back from the dead just to kill him again.
you can.
No, of course not. I'll shout. Oramis, is he gone?
He's dead.
Alright. So you said the portal's not in the darkness.
No, the portal is not in the darkness.
Okay, can I go up to the portal
Uh-huh.
and can I say, get back through, you idiots? And I'll hold a firebolt for anything hostile coming my way.
Okay. Cool.
Or my
Cool. Lithicus is dead. Remember, you can't see what's through the portal. You can just see a sort of spinning surface, like it's purple.
like a
surface,
like the Rick and Morty portal.
Like the Rick and Morty portal. Yeah.
Can I poke my head through?
Yeah. You can poke your head through. It's an extremely weird feeling of your bottom half is very warm, like warm it is right now. Your top half, or your head, blasted with freezing cold Himalayan level snow, minus something degrees, minus like 10 degrees, freezing fucking cold. To your left, you see Kaiman holding a bunny. To your right, you see Kaiman holding a bunny. To your left, you see a huge lizard thing climbing down the walls. There's bones all over the floor. With one thing I forgot to describe as well for you, Mittens, because you're a very perceptive person. You'd have seen that many of these bones are wearing the somewhat remnants of fancy, like purple and red and sort of like orange-colored silks, somewhat similar to the types of things you've seen people wearing in and around this city. It would seem Lithicus has sent a few people here. Yeah, so you poked your head through, Glyndan.
Yeah, so I'll just have my head and my arm through, and I'll just say, "Get through, please." And then all they see is my head and my hand. I'm just gonna have a firebolt ready for if something mean comes this way.
Cool. In the initiative order, Lithicus is fucking dead. So he can get fucked. Mittens, what you doing? Oh, actually, I need to roll initiative for the salamanders. Okay. Let's say they go after Mittens. They did roll a 19, so they would have actually gone after Glyndan, but I'm going to say that they go after you. So, what are you doing?
I mean, if you want to go beforehand, I'm not going
Cool.
to do anything other than leave.
Cool. In which case, I will actually say they go before you, because they did roll a 19 on the dice, so I'll give them that. So I'm going to say that. So what can the salamander do? It can move 60 feet, so it climbs down the wall and begins then moving towards you. And to everyone in the area, it's just going to breathe in, and you can see like this like sack, or rather its neck just like opens up a little bit like this like bulbous sort of sack and fills with this cold air, and this freezing cold cone of air blasts into the area.
Can't my action go off?
I'd say yes. Your held action would go off at this. Roll to hit.
19.
19 does hit. Yes. Roll damage. This thing is vulnerable to fire.
Oh, that's great. Great.
I mean, it's vulnerable to fire damage, so it takes the 13 twice. So that is going to be a decent amount of damage.
But it could have taken
at least
80.
It could have taken a fuck ton of damage. So that's what 30, 26, 6, 13. Burning Fury. When the salamander takes fire damage, its freezing breath automatically recharges. So I guess once it uses it now, it'll automatically get it. But can I get Glyndan? I'll give you advantage because only your head and your arm are through. Oh, actually, no, I won't give you advantage, but I'll give you. You'll take half damage from the thing anyway. So can I get Glyndan, Kaiman, and Mittens to make me a Constitution saving throw? The DC is 17.
Oh yeah.
Throwing right in front of me.
Protect the bunny. Oh yeah, the bunny is definitely going to be taking some of this damage.
I'll protect you.
Yeah, it's going to take 8d10 damage, Ryan. Even with you protecting it, it is definitely not a bunny anymore.
So I throw it off the mountain. I just put it in a bowl and just
You put it down on the ground, you put
cool.
your fingertip on top of it, and then just come along.
Oh, that's not great. So that's 8,
turn it into a snowboard.
9, 16, 19. 19, 23, 25, 30, 36. So, so let's see what you guys rolled here. So, Glyndan, you pass. So you'll take 30. So you'll take half damage anyway because only your head and your arms out. But then you'll take half damage again. So 36 halved is
18.
18, half to 9. So you'll take 9. Kaiman, you take 18. Mittens, you'll take the full 36 points of damage. And either way, the polymorph would potentially go away because you failed on the. No, you would roll an additional one. Don't mind me. But yeah, polymorph goes, and suddenly, Kaiman, bursting from your arms is a huge frost salamander. This massive salamander type thing just bursts from your arms. I'm gonna say it.
I say chill in lizard.
You said chill in lizard. It looks at you, just sort of kind of cocks its head. Before, I mean, it's right up next to you. It's gonna make a bite claw. Wait, what the fuck? I hadn't read this stat right. It makes 5 attacks, 4 with its claws and 1 with its bite. So, first the bite, natural 1. Second, claw. 1 hits with a natural 20. Misses. So just a natural 20 on the claw. That's going to be 1d. So that 8 plus 3 plus 5. So that's 11 plus 5. Kaiman, you take 16 points of slashing damage, half to 8. So you take 8 points of slashing damage because you're resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. That's pretty much that. So Mittens, it's now your go.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Well, I've lost concentration on that, so I can cast my favorite concentration spell. And how many do I'm just trying to work out how many of these I get. I can't work out where it is in the spell. There we go, 10 medium. So I'm going to command 5 skeletons to animate as I cast animate objects.
Nice. Bunch of skeletons just sort of like slowly stand up and begin animating. Not like people though, because I imagine this is animate object. So this is just like they're bumbling around but not like walking around. They're just like hovering and being all weird. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm just gonna be like, form a wall, like I don't know, get them to try and like form a protective barrier, be a distraction, that sort of thing. And then I'm just gonna toddle back through the portal.
Book it out of there.
And
nice.
leave them to protect the portal.
Sounds good. Kaiman, your turn. What are you doing? There's a frost salamander right in front of you, but a bunch of skeletons have been animated and have sort of interposed themselves between. I mean, actually, you're within 5 feet of this frost salamander, but there are also these weird skeletons, one either side of you, and a bunch blocking you from the other frost salamander. The portal is within like 10 feet of you.
Against your turn. Tag undead. Oh, I'm you.
The skeletons are not like undead skeletons. They've just been animated by objects, and also they're Mittens' skeletons. So they're friendly.
Okay. My bad. So I retaliate by biting this lizard.
Bite the lizard. A 13 misses.
Damn it. So that failed. So I'm gonna Hadouken his ass with my what was the move called?
Your channel divinity. All right, so roll to hit. You got to beat a 17. It's a natural 1. So you go to hit, your fist flames for a second, you spin, and you slip on the snow before you. The boot gets stuck, you fall, and your boots come off.
Okay.
Portal is 10 foot behind you. You are now alone here, other than these 10 skeletons.
Good. No one saw that. No one saw that.
No one saw that.
I just like roll over to my front and I just fucking crawl out of there. Back through the
Crawl
portal.
out there. Right, this thing is going to get an attack of opportunities. You run away. Fucking. That's a third natural one the salamander's rolled. So as you roll out of there, it slams on the ground where you were. Very like movie-esque as you just dodge out of the way, and then you manage to just crawl back through the portal. Everybody is now through the portal. The portal's still open, but everyone's through. Then we go to the Sultan. Sultan's freaking the fuck out. He's like, what's going on? Lithicus, guards, everyone just put your weapons down. We don't have to resort to violence. What the hell? Everyone just stop. Just stop. Close that portal. Stop those things. Everyone just please stop. The guards are going to sort of, one of the guards who was rushing for the portal has seen the Sultan, now just runs in front of the Sultan, sword raised, and is essentially readying his action for any of you to come close. The other guard, who was by Oramis, is sort of like, I can't see. I'm just going to run in this direction. And he runs in a direction and trips over the body of Lithicus. You watch Oramis as he just runs like in a direction, trips over Lithicus, falls to the ground, but then crawls out of the darkness. You do have an attack of opportunity if you want to use it. Do you murder a guard?
No. Let him go.
Okay, you let him go. It's now your turn, but I'll say as we go into the next round of combat, is anyone being hostile? Is there anyone being... These guards don't seem hostile now. They are just sort of essentially holding actions for you guys to be hostile, but they're listening to their Sultan's wishes. Are any of you guys wanting to continue initiative and be hostile, or no?
Only to the salamanders, and only in a defensive manner.
Cool. So, we would then go to Glyndan. Glyndan, you can close the portal if you would like. Or would you keep it open?
Does everyone come through?
Everyone's through now, except for Mittens' skeletons, which are out there. But
Well, I think close. I'll obviously pull my own head and hand out before I close the portal.
yes, that is fair. Yeah, you close the portal. Portal sort of closes up with a sort of brief howl of the wind, and the small portal stone that you've got in your hand that was like this purplish color turns now into just like a dark grey stone, like this sort of weird grey stone. You think that these things are a sort of one-time use type of thing. And one thing I would probably say actually as well, Mittens, just one final thing that you would have seen, you probably would have on the floor seen a bunch of stones very similar to this. So yeah, this is definitely a tactic of Lithicus's. Cool.
Not anymore.
Initiative over. Oramis is still in darkness. The guards are there. The Sultan goes, where is Lithicus? We don't have to resort to violence here. We can just sort this out. What the hell? Lithicus? Lithicus, explain yourself. Yeah. You're still in darkness.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like hold him up,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna drop darkness.
Okay. You hold him up, you drop darkness. There is a brief like sort of like as there is just blood all down the front of his robe, and his head is just dropped, and you're just holding up the body of Lithicus. Yeah, his like small turban that he had on's fallen out, and you can now see that on his bald head there was some like arcane runes tattooed, just like it's 4 weird sort of arcane circular sigils on his head. And yeah, there's a hole in his neck, blood dripping down. The Sultan goes, did you? What the? Why is he dead?
I can fix that.
He's dead because he is corrupt and he was manipulating you. So
I mean, you have to kill him.
he
fix
tried to kill us. Did you not see what was on the other side of that portal?
Yeah, but I'm sure that if you can fix it,
Look within yourself. You know this to be true.
roll a persuasion check.
Oh, if I have to.
I mean, I know it's a 27.
27.
JJ, I now know how you feel.
Oh, 2 rolls of this, you now know how I feel. I've had it for a year.
Yeah, but this is Oramis with persuasion, not Cleric with stealth. It's different. Mine's worse somehow.
It's not, it's not
No,
just
it's probably
stealth.
it's probably not.
Just wait until
Anyway.
you've really felt my pain.
So, the Sultan sort of calms down a bit, and he's sort of like his breath is shaky. But he says, "Mittens, you said you can fix that. If you could please fix it. I know he was trying to kill you guys, but at least let the man explain himself. And I'm sure this can all just work out. Please, you guys are powerful. I've heard people can be brought back from some death. If anyone can fix it, please, I'll subsidize any material costs. Please."
Mittens, I feel like you may be over promising.
No, I can fix that. I cast Wish.
Yeah, you
No.
cast Wish.
I use it to cast Revivify.
Hold action.
Hmm?
Can I hold action with Concealed Blade?
Okay, yeah, you hold action. So you're still holding him. You
Yeah.
cast Wish to revive him. Suddenly there is a sort of bright light from his neck, as sort of bright light from his neck and his eyes and his mouth, and suddenly there's a he realizes he's being held up by Oramis.
I'll just press the blade in the back of his neck, not to kill him, but just
Yeah, he has one hit point. He sort of like holds himself steady, puts his hands up, and he's like, I surrender, please. Was I dead? Was I? Did I die?
Only a bit more than you already are.
I died. This is, and he kind of freaks out for a minute. The Sultan walks up to him and says, "Lithicus, explain yourself. Why? You know what? Actually, you were dead. I'll give you a second. God, it's one of you. Please just explain to me, why did this happen? Why do you guys think this happened? Why did you kill him? Why did that portal open? Please just someone explain this to me."
Because he's a master manipulator. And he's
Oh.
engineered the situation to be perfect for him.
That
Okay.
potion he's been giving you is what keeps you young.
He doesn't give me a potion. Every year he gives me a glass of wine. And then he looks to his own goblet that's literally sat right there on the table. So that glass of wine you let me have once a year, Lithicus, that's... Sorry, what? It keeps me young. That's what... Are you sure? How do you guys know of this?
Because he asked us to get the water that went into it.
Okay. Lithicus, do you have anything to say for yourself? And Lithicus just sort of sits there and goes, "I was doing what I thought was right for the community. Under your rule, which has subsequently been my rule, Abercatcher has grown in its presence and in its economy, and we have held our own against the forces, the wars, the troubles outside our borders. I thought as a young lad that would be difficult for you, and you even told me after your parents passed you wanted nothing to do with this crown. I was just allowing you the freedoms to be young." Son goes, "Freedoms to be... Yes, I didn't want it. My parents passed. I wanted what every kid wants. I didn't want this thrust upon me, but I knew I had to do it. So you're not denying it. You've been keeping me young for what, 100 years? 100 years where I could have been ruling and living and serving. And you say you thought this was for the good of Abacatra. What for the good of Abacatra, it would have been teaching me to do this. You realize you're not just lied to me. People out there, they think I'm God sent. They think the gods, God blessed me with some kind of youth. What am I going to tell them now? That's half the reason the people like me out there, is because they think for some reason the gods kept me young. What do I even do now, Lithicus?
It will take a while for any of that to go away or be noticeable. There is plenty of time for you to learn before it really becomes apparent that there has been any change. Like a masquerade or a charade, you are still performing a part of youth while continuing to grow older.
I suppose all this time, I did think it was. You've never even attempted to teach me. You've just been like a weirdly strict uncle to me, and I appreciate, Lithicus, you trying to keep me safe. But this is not you thinking of the city. This is you thinking of you and what part you can play in history, and not thinking of it as a collective of how you can help my family, how you can help anyone but yourself. This is no. Send him to the guards. Send him to the priest. Get him patched up. Then I immediately want him put in the dungeons. One of the guards nods, while both of the guards nod. Lithicus tries to complain as he begins being dragged out of the room by the guards. He's clearly, however, very spent. Dying and coming back to life is no thing to be taken lightly, and is not necessarily a thing that can just be for the. If your mind is not the strongest, coming back from death is not the easiest thing. And for Lithicus, it seems to have had some kind of impactful effect on him. With how much he's ranting and trying to beg, you would have expected maybe even some kind of spell, given his affinity towards enchantment magics and things like that. But no spells, no nothing. He just whines, complains, he begs as he leaves the room. But the large, heavy door slams shut. And when it does, you all look back at the Sultan, who's just staring at the pool of Lithicus's blood, and he's just there like, this is all gone. So the last 100 years of my life, I've been a lie. Wasted. Literal wasted time, as I've just been, he always said I wasn't old enough, I wasn't mature enough to rule, and that's his fault. I thank you, Guardians, for helping me in this matter. Thank you so much. Thank you for unveiling the truth, the conspiracy that was going on here. Thank you. If there's anything I can do for you, of course, you're welcome to stay in wherever you want. You're welcome to stay in Abacatra for as long as you want. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know.
Any
You are-
trends?
I will have some people take a look. I'm sure I can get some kind of gold reward. I mean, how much is a lot of gold these days?
Oh
God.
It's about 10,000 gold each is like a kind of minimum wage.
Minimum wage. Yeah, the union's really kicked off.
Is that okay? Well, what's minimum wage? I guess, like, I don't know. There's 4 of you, 12,000 or 3,000 each, right? That'll be good, I think. Sorry,
I won't demand any of your money, but if you were to make a generous donation to the reconstruction of the Wizards College at the capital, that would go a long way.
Yeah. Absolutely. We will.
Does this nation have a sea border?
What, a sea border? No, Abacatra is in the middle of a desert. It does not have a sea border.
No sea borders at all.
No. not for Abacatcha. There are many nations around here that have sea borders.
Do you need an
But-
admiral?
Um,
But please
No.
make Oramis an admiral of the landlocked land. Man's really good at
Because
lake.
I would gladly
We have-
serve you as admiral of your navy.
we have several canals in places constructed to
Oh,
give the
barge fleet.
city, give the city water, but no, we don't really have any. We don't have many militant ships or an admiral per se. Sorry, if you'll excuse me, I think I just need to think on some things. And he sort of like he doesn't even say the formal goodbye, doesn't say anything. He just walks out of the room and off into the palace. You guys left to your own devices for the time being.
Orvis salutes all the plates and goblets.
One of the sort of like waiters comes out to sort of serve the next course, but immediately drops her tray as she sees the pool of blood, the fucking everything that's gone on in this room. She's like, I'll come back. Walks off. What would you guys like to do for the rest of the evening, if anything? Otherwise, we can just skip to the next morning when you are summoned upon.
Can I have some food to give to my little goblin?
Sounds good. When you get back to the tavern, the goblin, to his word, has cleaned up for the majority. And for the glass pieces of the mirror, he wasn't able to fix. He's made you a selection of knives where he's clearly ripped some parts of the bedding and wrapped them around one side of the sort of shards, and then sharpened sort of the edges of the mirrors. So he's put the mirror back up on the wall, but is missing lots of pieces of it, and the shards of it he's made into just several knives that he's laid out upon the bed.
Good goblin. Goblin.
He smiles from ear to ear, devours the food, and you can all take a lovely long rest. The next morning, you are called upon to the palace. As you head towards the palace, the Sultan meets you inside and he says, "Thank you for meeting me." And you can see there's bags under his eyes. He has not slept. He says, "Thank you for meeting me. I understand with everything that's gone on, you might not necessarily want to stay in the city. If you do, you're absolutely welcome to. Some slightly better apartments have been set out for you, ones that we would actually give to, political allies that have come to the city. We were just getting those ready for you last night. So if you wanted to stay in those, if you're staying further, you absolutely can. In terms of the gold, as I said last night, 12,000 gold pieces here, and a guard comes by with a massive chest, places it down, opens it up, and it's 12,000 gold pieces in there, which you can each split 3,000 gold pieces each. One of the guards has a secondary chest, which he sort of comes in and opens up. And he says, also, I know Lithicus was very much an arcane individual, but he also dabbled in alchemy. I managed to find these, some of the arcanists. I managed to call some in very early this morning, and they said that these were his most powerful. I thought you might want these 3 potions. And he hands you these 3 potions. One of them is a sort of potion bottle with wings sort of up on the side of the neck. Another one is a potion bottle with like a heart sort of engraved into the front of it. And another one is a potion bottle with a lightning bolt engraved into the front of it. First one he gives you, the one with the wings, is a potion of angelic reprieve. It's a sort of white glowing liquid. Whoever drinks this potion falls asleep for 10 seconds or 2 rounds of combat if you're in combat. If your sleep is uninterrupted, upon awakening you gain the benefits of a short rest, and all your 1st and 2nd level spell slots are restored. JJ is smiling because he knows exactly where I've got that from. Baldur's Gate 3. Second potion, the potion with the heart, is a potion of ultimate restoration. It's a gold liquid with some black glitter swirling inside. Whoever drinks this potion becomes incapacitated for 1 minute as dark magic racks their body. At the end of this minute, you must succeed in a DC 15 con saving throw. On a success, you immediately gain the effects of a long rest. On a failure, you drop to 0 hit points. The third one, the one with the lightning bolt, Potion of Maximum Power. It's a purple liquid that smells like plums. The next time you cast a spell of 4th level or lower that deals damage, instead of rolling damage dice, you immediately deal the maximum possible damage you can. So, 3 potions there for you to grab. Who would like to take which one?
What did the middle one do again? Or the heart?
So, the one with the heart on it, if you drink it, you become incapacitated, like fall asleep, for 1 minute. At the end of the minute, you need to make a DC 15 con save. On a success, you gain the effect of a long rest immediately. On a fail, you drop to 0 hit points. So, bit of a gamble, but on a success, yeah, immediate long rest for one of you. Pretty great.
Anyone got any preferences?
You could take them and divvy them up later.
Yeah.
No, I would think about them.
Yeah. I think
You wanna
someone.
Glyndan?
You all right?
That's
Yeah,
the irresponsible one in the party at the moment.
So, Potion of Angelic Reprieve, Potion of Ultimate Restoration, and Potion of Maximum Power. Cool. Those are the 3 things he gives you, and then he says, as for Lithicus, there is going to be a trial. With the evidence, we've managed to find some evidence in his rooms. They were raided last night, and we've managed to find quite a lot of evidence that's proven him quite guilty. I don't think he's getting out of the dungeon anytime soon. I don't think there's much else to say. I'm sorry that your visit to this wonderful city has been tainted by such darkness and such conspiracy. But thank you. I guess it's a testament to your characters that you guys sorting this out while you're here, sort of thing. When you were not here for this purpose, but you came and you get what I mean. You guys are powerful. I don't really know what to say. Thank you. I'd say you're welcome to stay, but if you're going to go, just know you've made a friend in the city. You're always welcome. Always. I guess while I didn't really drink much of that wine last night, I don't think I drank any of it, so from here on out, I guess I'm growing. It's weird. Maybe I'll finally leave puberty. That'd be quite nice. 100. I think I'm done after 100 years of puberty, I think. Anyway, I think I'm having some friends over for some Caves and Krakens later. We can really quickly roll you guys up some characters if you want to join. I might need a bit of a nap first. Cool.
A really great idea for a character. The rogue, the sailor. It's also magic.
Jose Tortino.
Nice. Yeah. We can roll it. Do you have a set of dice already?
I do actually.
Oh, awesome!
Best T6 around.
Awesome, amazing, brilliant. Oh, yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go try and take a nap. I haven't really been able to sleep. But after that, yeah, I think this evening I'm getting some friends over and we're going to play. And I've got a lot of stuff to sort out today. Cool. Well, for the rest of you who maybe aren't staying, thank you very, very much again. As I say, you're always welcome back. And yeah, I don't really know. Lithicus used to always do the departures and stuff like that. I just used to wave honorably. This is a bit. I'm just gonna. Yeah, you guys know where the gate is. And he dabs, walks away. And now it's up to you guys. What are your characters doing? Where are your characters going? I guess I would say that we would jump into the. I didn't think this would take this long. I was going to say that we would jump into the sort of criminal one shot here, but I guess with only 10 minutes left, probably no point in that. So really quickly, I'm assuming most of you are traveling back to Ambyr then.
Yeah.
With the route of Yggdrasil. Awesome. Is anyone staying?
Mittens is going to stay.
Mittens is staying. Cool.
He thinks
In which
the
case,
Sultan needs a friend.
Oh, how nice.
that's very nice of you. Cool. In which case, you gather Nathan and Angus, who have been spending a lot of time in the sort of tea house that you guys if you call it tavern, slept in, and gather them up, teleport all the way back to the capital. And it's there, I think, there's no point starting anything new with 10 minutes left. We'll end the session. Thank you all very, very much for joining me this week. And as I said at the start of the session, I just wanted to go through with you guys sort of your expectations for the end of the campaign and I guess I'll go through what I've sort of got, I guess, somewhat planned in my head. And then we'll go through, with you guys sort of what you guys are expecting out of the end and what you can expect.